Welcome to this The Erect Posture presentation, a public health intervention in the form of teaching you about how the body should interact with gravity, how to make friends with gravity rather than let gravity beat you up. Because that's what you're seeing when you see people in old age bent over. Most of them never defied gravity because we come from a culture where we don't. Right now, the general education on how to stay plumb with gravity is not there for the public. And that's the reason this is a public health intervention. I'm putting it out there on the web. They say nothing on the web goes away, so here goes. We're putting it out there so it's free and it doesn't go away. I'm trying to make it easy, accessible to everyone to understand how to play with gravity, how to make your body and train your body to be plumb with gravity. See what's going wrong. See if you don't understand what's going wrong when you're not. Can you see? I think the idea is to get you to see how the body needs you to be plumb with gravity. I'm giving this as another type of exercise system. Okay, here we go. This is level 1 of 2. Okay, and from now out, we'll start with sitting you up straight. And then the whole time you're there, you'll try and hold plumb while you listen. If your body is not plumb with gravity, your body will speak to you in the form of pain. But without knowing what or why you got these feelings, and not knowing how to get plumb with gravity, you don't understand and you can't respond to the body's warning. Your body is speaking. Making the body plumb with gravity is the request and the job. When you're feeling pain, one of the things that I've heard from people is, and more than once, but I remember the first time I heard it, the young man had extraordinary posture. He had extraordinary posture. And he was young, he was a biker. He was handsome, he was with his friends, and I had to go and ask him why. Because I'd been walking through this, I'd been walking among the bikers, and he was the first and most outstanding I had seen in the park, in the place where they were. And there were thousands of them. And so I went to him, and I asked him, if I could speak to him. That's always my thing. May I have a conversation with you? Or may I speak to you? And then I started asking about why, did you know your posture was better than most? And I don't know if he knew it was better than most, but he knew why it was better than most. He had found his posture, and it was beautiful. He had found his posture because he had found the position where his body didn't hurt. Now, I've heard that one more than once. I heard that not too long ago from a gentleman. His wife had good posture, and then I didn't notice he had good posture. And then I looked back, and that was the first time I'd seen a couple where the posture was good. Maybe not the first time. But it was one of the rare times where one is, when you're not talking to one and the other one is standing there looking. But his posture was good too, but I didn't see it at first. And his was in response to pain. Both of those guys said that if they got into the wrong position, it hurt. And they had found the posture to get into by getting out of pain. I've heard it more than those 2 times, but those 2 were outstanding. And that's the reason I thank people who talk to me, because I learned from that. It had never occurred to me, but basically that's what I've done. Everything I've done here, you will find I did it for me. I did it for me because I was hurting, and I was determined not to lose my profession. And I'd been warned that my profession might not last me like it lasts men, because we tend to get carpal tunnel, we get back pain more, and it's a job that gives you back pain and carpal tunnel. And woe and behold, that happened to me. So I learned to back out of them. We're going 1 of 1, which means we're going to start at the bottom, and I know this is 2 of 1, 1 of 2, but we're going to line ourselves up to gravity first, and then we'll go and start at 2. Okay, so the base, is your ischial. You're getting the thing that you focus on is your ischial tuberosities. We're starting at the base. This is the base. We're sitting on your ischial tuberosities. You're sitting on the edge of the chair, and your knee is lower than your hip. You already know that one. The next level is the bowl. The bowl is where you rock to get your abdominal content to rest in the pelvic bowl and not get dumped out or rest on. It's your level bowl. The next one is you have to fire up your core, and that's when we're going to pull in our stomachs. And from now on out, we're going to hold our abdomen in so that we feel our waist all the way around our body strong. We feel it holding. The next one is the chest. You widen your chest. You widen the bottom first. You widen the bottom first, and then you widen the top. And as you widen them, you feel your rib cage take on a different form. The next level is the windpipe. For that, the mastoid process gets pulled back so that you feel your mastoid process in line with the rest of your aligned spine. And then once you do that, then don't do anything except let your eyes seek the horizon. Don't make it go there. Just let it happen. There are reflexes that get that right. And then lift your crown. We've aligned our posture. And now we're going to hold that the entire time we do the rest of this video. This is the first of level 2. There are others coming, but this is the first level 2. This is where you level your bowl. You're taking your peritoneal sac. That's where your guts are sitting. You take your peritoneal sac, which sits in your pelvic bowl, and then you're going to rock it to find out where the bowl is doing its job. When the bowl is letting the contact fall out, then you know you've gone too far forward. And when your bowl rests, your ribs rest on your gut, you know you're dumping too far. If you feel pain at any one of those positions, when you're too far forward, and that's when I feel it. I get pains in my lower back when I dump too far. That's because habitually, that's what I'm doing. I have a tendency to sort of lean out there, okay? Or if you tuck under and you feel pain, know that that's where your problem is coming from. It's coming from the fact that you don't level your bowl. The body, where your pelvis go is not arbitrary. The pelvis had a job. It's either doing its job or it's not. And if it's letting the gut dump, it's not doing its job. And if it's rolled back, it's not doing its job. It's resting. Now it's letting the gut and everything get compressed in that area. The back is getting stretched. It's all happening because that's not an arbitrary thing. That's what the body needs to be erect. The next thing. I'm here. I'm defending. I know that there are other ways. I don't know of anyone else teaching sitting up straight. So there's no debate here. Okay. But I do know that there are plenty of people who teach how to stand up straight. And I even get correction from people who tell me that I should be tucking my butt. Okay. It is not arbitrary. It is not opinion. It is not public opinion. It is not whether you're going to have thin thighs. It is not. It is the spine that counts. I found out years ago, and it was news to me, that one of the reasons for tucking your pelvis under, it is known to produce thin thighs. And putting your butt behind you too far would produce thick thighs, but I'll say normal is also in that thick thigh group compared to the person who tucks. At one time, when I'm doing this, later versions of 2, I will show you why the thigh would be thinner when you tuck your pelvis. But that's not a reason to do it, and yet you can go into classes, and here's how the class begins. You're learning how to stand up straight. The first thing you do is you tuck your tail. And then after that, the instructions flow. This one is the example of put your butt, go up against the wall. Put your butt against the wall, your lower back against the wall, your upper back against the wall, and your head against the wall. And now you're going to flatten your spine to the wall. This is erect, that's flattened to the wall. Okay? Well, that's not plumb with gravity because you never made that a goal. You made that the wall. This one is like that because the goal is to be plumb with gravity. I was mystified. I was sure I was right. I was sure that what I found in Kindle back in the day on what erect posture looked like, I was sure that was right. And so anytime I heard that tuck your tail, I was always not really listening to you. But I was wondering why. How were you so sure that standing up against the wall was better and getting rid of all curves were better than having the natural curves that Kindle and our babies say was true? You know, they stood up straight and they didn't lean against the wall. Okay? Well, I had heard of this book, Here an Inch, There an Inch. I saw it in the review of the literature. Every time I did a review of the literature, there it was. But I could never get it. I would try interlibrary loan, but it never came to me. And it never occurred to me to buy it, okay? But my sister, I got to thank my sister for this, because she sent me this book. She heard me talk about here an inch, there an inch. And I was intrigued by the name because it is true. As you get poor posture, you lose height. You know, and as you string yourself up on gravity, you gain height. So it was making sense that it should be true. Here an inch, there an inch, sound like it was going to be a true book because they had discovered that poor posture loses height, erect posture gains height. But there she was, tucking your tail. Starting off, tucking your tail and flattening your back. I was glad she gave me the book because I've often wondered where that came from. And in the book, she explained it. She didn't know that the body of the vertebra actually dictate the curves. She thought that the spine was a series of blocks, you know, uniform, but not. She knew that the top ones were narrower, had less volume than the bottom one, but that's just damming. Anything that you put in a dam, the structure at the bottom has to be stronger than the structure at the top because it's taking more of a load. And so she saw that, but she thought they were blocks that could be stacked like that. And her error was in anatomy. So all of her instructions that told her to go up against the wall or to flatten or tuck the butt, and all that flatness came off a lack of knowledge. So anytime anyone tells you to tuck your butt, I want to know. Well, I don't challenge people. I let people say what they want to say. But in this, I'm saying, did they really think the spine didn't have anything to do? Do they know about this? Do they know about this? The body gets divided. When I first heard about leveling the bowl, when it occurred to me that diagram in that second position that looked like a bowl, when it turned out to be a bowl, when I finally saw it as a bowl, because I saw it as a crescent for a long time, and then at one drawing I saw it as a bowl. Once I saw it as a bowl, I had been studying posture to know that there was a tip difference in the pelvis that divided people out. There are two postural types where they tuck that bowl. There are erect and three postures that tip that bowl. Erect keeps that bowl level. These postures tip that bowl. They toot that butt up. I call it tooting and tucking. These are tooting their bottoms. These are tucking their bottoms. So these are tuckers. These are tooters. Okay? I knew that exists, and therefore when I saw that bowl, I started saying, whoa, that is the pelvis. That's the pelvis, and it's showing you that you have to level that pelvis. And it didn't take long to figure out. If you just played with that pelvis on rocking, you could see that all of a sudden that gut either dumped out or got chewed up with the ribs dropping down. But the problem is, once you tuck that pelvis, the pelvis has on it the lowest disc of the vertebra. In other words, the pelvis, how that pelvis comes out of that from gravity, whether it comes in leaning forward or tucking back, it's going to say how does the spine hook onto that? Because the top part of this, where the spine attaches, it attaches the pelvis to the sacrum, right? And that means the pelvis gets attached to the spine at this one spot, right spot. And if that's at the wrong angle, then the spine comes out at the wrong angle. It comes out of the body at the wrong angle. So here's the right tip. I got more to play with this. I can't wait to present more of this to you. I bought this clear pelvis. But this is the top of the sacrum. And it's at about the right angle right now. It's just about sitting upright, okay, in anatomical position. And there's a forward tip for the spine to come in and start its curve back. But now if you tuck that under, and so the spine comes out and it takes the right angle. But if you tuck that under so that you're tucking like that, then the spine is already leaning backwards and now it's got to come forward because it's got to get the eyes on the horizon. I don't care where you put it. The eyes on the horizon is a reflex. So you got to get that so that when the eyes go on the horizon, you're erect. You can tip that the wrong way. And to just arbitrarily walk in and tell everybody in the room to tuck their pelvis, that is not possible. That's not the instruction you can give. You cannot give that instruction because there are some people in there, baby, you see them, they have tucked tooth. They feel good though. That's when they come out and correct me. You're supposed to tuck your butt. And they're looking at mine saying, I don't know if you know how to sit up straight because you didn't tuck your butt. And I'm sitting there saying, I hope they didn't tell you to tuck your butt. But anyway, let me stop. The direction that you come out of when you come out of that chair is going to determine whether you can get your body right. Now, in these cases, all of these had the right chair, but the wrong chair will make you more likely to sit like that. That tends to happen where that will roll you backwards. The flat chair rolls you backwards. This one, yeah, some of us do that, right? Okay. That will give you back pains though, but erect is what you want. No rotation, no forward dumping, no rolling backwards. That's what you're looking for. And you're rocking to find that position so that the spine can come out right. The spine has to engage at the right angle to go erect. If you're in flexion, it'll tend to make you have to go that way, and you'll get in pain from having to go backwards. You'll put more arch in your back because you came out leaning too far forward. If you tuck this way, you're going to go around, and if you're having pain, it's because you're leaning back. And so this group tends to have, I got an idea. No studies have been done, but I can see that there has to be a pattern of pain that's more likely in this group, and this one would be another pattern of pain. You know, it just, if they're doing it, the pattern has to come. And so you look at the body at those tips. You know, ideal. And this is too straight. This is round back. This is flat back but toot. All of them will have too much curve about them. This one will give you curve, but it's a different place. They're really tucking. What you do in your pelvis gets written into the body. This is a logo that you see in yogic literature too. And what it really means is that it's reciprocating. If you get it wrong at one area, it's going to get wrong in another. It's just unavoidable. That's what the curves mean. But it also means as you correct, the correction spreads too. Once you start zeroing in, you can start making things better. You change, a change will come. You may find one area comes first and then it sort of fades into the other areas. My guru's guru, Paula Center, was named after. One of the things he used to say, if you pick up a garland by one bead or one flower, the whole garland comes with it. As you zero in on this and you start making, if you find your easiest correction is in getting the rib cage correct, keep on doing that and then work with the stomach and then work with the neck. And all of it works out because as this gets easier for you, it spreads. It's reciprocating. It's reciprocating. Avoid pain though. Avoid pain. There's no gain in pain. There are teachers who will tell you to do things even though it hurts, and smile and make it look good, but do what I say do, and if it hurts, just endure it. No. You're not listening. The message is listen to the body. There are things you do that feel good. I assure you, I don't rock in a chair out of a habit. I rock because I have found out how to move and it feels good to me. My body loves it. If I'm tired or anything, I can work out that feeling by just doing that. Holding my stomach back feels good. To a back that wants to go out, holding my stomach out in doesn't let that gut put that weight down in that tender back. Hold it up with the muscles. There's benefit in it. So go for good feelings. Stay away from, avoid pain, baby. Avoid pain. And if I tell you to do something and it hurts, just stop. Wait until I make sense, because I'm not making sense to your body. I'm not making sense to your body if your body hurts. Okay. Thank you for coming. We have a little bit of time, so let's do around 5 minutes of motion. Pull your stomach in. You can even breathe to the music. Okay. Thank you. Come again. Thank you for coming. Come again. Send a friend. Like us, subscribe to us, ring to a bell. Do what you know what to do. Just come again. I'm not yet set up to respond to a lot of feedback yet. But come and I'll get around to feedback, but I'm having a hard time doing everything. I have to make the contents, make the graphics, do the recordings, edit, and then get them on the line. It's a lot for an old lady to do. communicate gets to be a little hard. You know what I mean? To decide what to communicate with. I will be set up a thing where I get you to identify what's going on with you. I don't know that I want you to give it to me, but one of the things I'm thinking about doing is giving you a chart where you list your pains when you're coming in new. Because I have reasons to believe that these are the muscles that need to be exercised for metabolic problems to be handled. And so I'd like to get you to know what to look for, to see if you're getting any benefit from this. And one day, maybe somebody will be do research and they would want to go into this pool, but I'm too old to do research. I can teach you what I know and what I feel. But you sort of, the next person online for this is going to have to do a lot of research on this. Okay. I want to thank you for coming again. I'm enjoying it. I hope you are. Things will get better. I know the graphics is crazy. I know I'm crazy because I'm looking one way and I should be talking this way. But that's the space I'm in. That's the way I do it. And that's how I figured out how to do it. Maybe I'll figure another way later. Thank you very much.